A couple of weeks ago, Aesop Rock announced his next album titled Integrated Tech Solutions, and we got the first single titled Mindful Solutionism. That track was very much an intro sort of song and kind of gave us ideas of what the album was going to sound like. And now we've got the second single titled By the River, notably shorter at just about 2.5 minutes long. But yeah, with Aesop Rock, there's always a lot to look at and a lot that you can't really dissect right away. So let's fucking go. And if I'm wrong, don't be a dick. I like the beat so far. It is produced by Aesop Rock, but it's a lot more jazzy than what I'm used to from him.
River talking to a ghost. I wish that we could rock a beat and smoke another tones. I miss the way you rhyme and how you never had a clown. Ain't a motherfucker living that could ever crack the code.
So in the first verse so far, it sounds like he's just kind of reminiscing. He likes rivers. He likes rivers a lot. And he's just talking about the things that you would see at rivers when you go to the riverbed. Talks about how his uncle would leave or cut school to go to the river in Pennsylvania. I think that's where it was. But yeah, it just a fun time. But just like with Mindful Solutionism, where things kind of have a menacing, kind of foreboding undertone to it, you have the line that says, or a cold-blooded psychopath disposing of a corpse. And then he ends the verse talking, or saying that he's talking to a ghost. And just, it sounds like the person that he's talking to is probably his uncle. I mean, that would make the most sense. Anyways, keep going.
I like rivers, freight ships passing through old drawbridges. It looks so cool when you catch from a distance, a little less cool when you're stuck inside your Civic. Just don't mention it in front of them, it's gloating, it's for no one. I'm pretty sure you don't have the authority to say this, but thank you, I accept, I'll have my lawyer draft the papers.
So the second verse kind of carries on the same idea where he's just talking about river stuff. There's freight ships, you can drive over it. And while rivers are cool, it's definitely not as cool if you're looking at it through your Civic, like through the window of your Civic. And then he kind of goes on to mention, like, oh yeah, there's all these mysteries. Like, ooh, what's going to be at the bottom of this? There's like some fish, a car, or just a murder weapon that I mentioned earlier. Which again, this is something that Aesop Rock does, where he just kind of keeps tying things into itself. But I feel like there's just a constant, like, oh yeah, here's all these things, and then something negative, but we'll just keep going. A lot like on the other track.
I like rivers, hard to put a price on water for the village. I jumped into the Amazon to launder all my atoms. The child prayer had me spilling coffee on the captain. Waterfalls, tributaries, Lichtenberg figures, twilight fireflies. I like rivers.
And then the third verse kind of rounds out where he's like, just talking big picture, talking about like, oh yeah, you gotta have water for the river. He could have jumped into the Amazon and then it just atomized him, which is also an interesting thing because if we're going into the whole integrated tech solutions, maybe there's part of it there. Like maybe the rivers are like the information rivers. I don't know. He also talks about how some of the water in rivers can be harmful to you, and if you get some on your skin, we should probably notify people. And then there's like people get held captive. You got to make a raft and escape on the rapids. But yeah, like he talks about all these things about water. If he had to escape from something, maybe his training in TV would help him escape and make a raft. But realistically, he doesn't want to be in the water. Like, he loves rivers, but he hates the water, it sounds like. And then the song just kind of ends out. So, this song is one of those songs that Aesop Rock does where it sounds like he's having fun in terms of like the particular subject matter, or like not fun. Fun's the wrong word for it. This sounds like one of those songs where Aesop Rock takes a very basic, simple topic and makes it into something else. This river, it's nothing crazy. Like it's literally just rivers, but he talks about all these things that are tied to tech solutions. I'm assuming we'll probably understand it properly in the album, but it sounds like these rivers are maybe synonymous with like the river Styx. More so, I would think like a flow of things and a lack of fully knowing, just like with water in general. We don't know everything that happens in the water. Like we have some sort of idea. Like we know that people will throw bodies in water to dispose of them. We know that people are like just on the riverbed camping or fishing or whatever. People cross rivers. But there's also this level of uncertainty and unknown that again ties into the whole like idea of mindful solutionism, at least the way that he structured the song, where everything starts out kind of good and then you have one line or two lines where it talks about something negative and then it just goes back to like the good. I don't know if that's a theme that Ace is trying to do throughout the entire project, or maybe I'm just looking into it way too much. I probably am, because what else am I supposed to do? But yeah, it's interesting. Like I like this sort of song from Ace where it's just kind of chill, nothing crazy, nothing too important, but also it's a good in-between song. I appreciate that there's no chorus, because I feel like that might have taken away from it. And I mean, we do kind of get the chorus with I like rivers, but you know. But regardless, I am interested in seeing where this goes. I wish now that I would have waited till the video came out, because if it's animated like the Mindful Solutionism one was, I feel like there's a lot that he could do with this. But you know, it is what it is. I don't think I would necessarily gain more from it. It was just, he's very vivid with his words. So I can kind of picture what he would be doing. But that's all I've got to say for this track. I am interested in the album. I can't wait for it. It's going to come out in like a month and a half, just about. So not too much longer. Maybe we'll get another single before then. But until then, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this track. And while you're down there, like and subscribe to see more rambling and content like this. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there. Or don't.